We begin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Super Podcast Action Committee, episode 106. I was about to say season 1, episode 6, but I think I used that joke last week. But last week we had horrible sound issues, so you may not have heard that joke. But hopefully the sound is ironed out this time, and you can listen to us without the sound driving you nuts. It'll just be our personalities and the content of the show that drives you away. So, hello, Andrew Eisen here, sweating all, because goodness sakes, is it hot in here! It's a little after 6 here in Southern California, San Diego to be precise, and oh man, it's like 90 in my room, which is why I'm just in a t-shirt. Normally I'd dress up, maybe not as formal as a suit and tie, but, you know, at least a buttoned shirt, but oh heck. That's going to be a long show. But Andrew Eisen here. Hello, everyone. And with me, EZK and I. Hello, Zachary.
Hello. How are you doing? Other than the heat, how are you doing? Other
than that, you know, the heat almost knocked me out. I was thinking, maybe I should just lay down, and because I was going to play Professor Layton, and then my eyes just couldn't focus. I'm like, maybe I should lay down, but it was 5 o'clock. I'm like, no, I'll sleep right through start time if I try, because I didn't sleep well last. I live in an apartment complex. If you go outside my apartment door, it's an enclosed hallway, kind of like a motel. And 2 o'clock this morning, I am awakened, which is pretty impressive because I am on drugs. Sleepy drugs that are supposed to keep me asleep because I have trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
But even though I'm a light sleeper, but even though I'm on the sleepy drugs, I was awakened by voices out in the hallway, just chatting. I thought, maybe they'll go away, but after 15 minutes, they were still chatting. So I walk out into the hallway after putting my pants on. I walk out into the hallway. And I'm getting an echo. Do you have a light sleeper? But even though
no, I'm not hearing an echo.
I was awakened by voices out in the hallway. Just chat.
Did you mess up your sound mixing?
I didn't touch anything. Anyone hearing an Matthew? You're in the chat. You hearing an echo in the background? I walk out into the hallway. I'm getting an echo. Do you have a?
No, I'm not hearing an echo.
Because I can hear the show being in my earphones.
Anyone hearing Matthew?
Which is interesting because I didn't hear it at the very start of the show. It didn't start until several minutes into the show.
Yeah, he says he does.
I can hear the show being. No,
I've got it muted. I've only got it open once, and I don't think I have it open anywhere else.
Which is interesting because I didn't hear it at the very start of the show.
But yeah, you might want to check to see if you have it open more than one place.
Found it. I had the front page of GamePolitics open, and I forgot I embedded the show on the front page of GamePolitics, which is what I was hearing.
Nice.
Bad. Okay, it's our second stream.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One of these days we'll get it right.
Still getting used to it. Oh well. And I just closed the chat window. Oops. I'll have to go back and get that in a few minutes. Anyway, so I walk outside with my pants on, and there's 6 people just standing out in the hallway chatting to each other. And I say to them, please find a room to go inside. And they're like, oh okay, sorry. And they all file into the apartment across the hallway. And it's like, these kids aren't bad kids. They're just stupid. It never occurs to them that it's 2 a.m. and the only sound is them. And they're standing in the middle of an apartment complex hallway, and their voices are just echoing off the walls, and anyone who's not asleep can hear them.
Nice.
Then at 4 a.m., there was hammering, just a repeated knocking. So it was probably someone knocking on a door. You get that a lot now. I live in Pacific Beach, so there's a lot of really young kids. I imagine it was someone trying desperately to wake up their friend on the inside who is drunk and passed out. It's like, let me in, it's 5 a.m., please let me in. You get that a lot.
Yeah.
So I didn't sleep that well. How are you, Zachary?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. See, the kids have been at their grandparents' house all week. So my wife and I have just had the place to ourselves. We've been trying to work on the kids' bathroom. I mentioned last week that their toilet started running and wouldn't stop, and so this week we've been we replaced all of the shutoff valves to their toilet and their sink, and we ripped out their old sink because we're going to replace it with a new vanity and everything. And then today we finally got the drywall hung back up, and my wife textured it with the drywall mud, and we're waiting for that to dry, and then we'll paint their bathroom and then lay new flooring down and then bring in the new vanity and toilet. So that's kind of taken up all that, and my wife and I have just been hanging out and watching TV, playing video games. We played quite a few episodes of You Don't Know Jack. We bought that on the Ouya, and so we played about 5 episodes of that and had fun. She won one, I won the rest of them. I think I'm just a lot better at guessing pop culture trivia stuff than she is. So.
Because I would probably be terrible at that game. Unless you're talking really geeky stuff like video games and movies.
Yeah.
If you're talking like celebrity stuff, like who's married to who, gossip column TMZ type of stuff, yeah. I have no idea. Couldn't venture a guess because I just don't care.
But a lot of the stuff in there is it's really just kind of pop culture stuff. It's not really celebrity gossip or anything like that. Like there was one where it was just name the crime that this television show is based around, and I hadn't watched. I don't think I watched any of the shows that they listed, because it was the very last round of it where just you got to match the 2 things that pop up at the same time, and I don't think I watched a single one of the shows that came on, but because I read sites like IO9 and other geeky sites, I knew the answers to all of them. And my wife was just like, "How do you know all this? I don't know any of it." And I'm like, "Because I read too much on the internet." So we had fun though.
Because I've got a cell phone and Google under the table.
Yeah, I wish the Google was fast enough to work through this, or play You Don't Know Jack. But no, other than that, I really hadn't had any video game time. I read some more of the latest Dresden File book that I have, but other than that, not much else has been going on.
Actually, I played a little bit of Telltale's The Walking Dead this afternoon. For a year and a half or so, it seems that long, since the game came out, I have wanted to do a video for my YouTube channel explaining what... Oh, really? For crying out loud. Hang on, folks. Gotta get a call back. Okay. I got sound. Got Zachary. Okay, let me adjust that a little bit. There we go. I think... Come on. No, don't split the frame. There we go. Okay. Hi, everyone. We're back. That one wasn't my fault. That one was... The first one, totally my fault. This one, not my fault. So...
For some reason, Skype froze up on me, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, and since Skype quit, it forgot about my camera, because I have to turn my camera on before Skype comes on. So since I restarted Skype, my camera was already on. I couldn't find my camera, so I had to turn Skype off. And weird. Will this be the last live podcast we do? No, it's getting better, honest. Yeah. What were we talking about? We were talking about You Don't Know Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about Walking Dead. Right. So to shorten this because the show's already too long. Um, I don't like Telltale's The Walking Dead for a variety of reasons.
That's because
And
you're a heathen.
that's because I'm a filthy heathen, and I know you all can no longer be friends with me. Um, but I wanted to make a video of myself kind of playing the game and yelling at it, articulating in hopefully an entertaining way the reason I don't care for the game. And I've put it off for a long, long time. Zachary's a bit low. Let me see if I can up his volume a bit. There we go. I've put it off because I don't want to play through the game to capture the footage. But I finally got my loins girded and played through about an hour of the game and realized this is just way too much work. Because no matter how I cut it, it takes about two and a half hours to get through the first episode. And even editing it down, I would have probably a movie-length episode. And no one wants to sit through that. And it has to be that long because a lot of my complaints are super dependent on context. So, I'd almost need to do a Let's Play to explain what I don't like about the game. And I guess I could divide it up into 8 different parts, but that is a lot of footage to capture. The 50 minutes or so I captured ended up being like 32 gigs, which I compressed down to 4 gigs, which took an hour and a half. And then I still would have to edit it. I'd have to script my responses to it and film it and do the sound and then mix them together. I'm like, that is a lot of work for a game I don't even like. So I'm like, maybe I'll just play them on Twitch one day and just talk to the audience and throw that on YouTube. I don't know. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I'm probably going to do something different from what I originally envisioned, which was... I called it Andrew Argues with the Walking Dead. I just like the sound of the title. But that's just... I don't want to take the time to do that. That would be a several days worth of project because that is just a lot of work. So maybe I'll just write an article and post it on GamePolitics, even though it has nothing to do with anything. What's this doing here? I don't know. So okay, let's look at the show today. We should probably get started. So this week's poll asked what we think about YouTubers who accept money from publishers. Now, this came from a Gamasutra article earlier in the week, which was looking at that very topic itself, inspired by some issues with Yogscast, a name I've heard, but I'm not one of their 7 million subscribers, so I don't really know what they do. But they're starting in... They do a podcast of Yog, yes. I guess. Well, they heavily promoted a Kickstarter, and which was a video game about either them or characters created by them. The company that was doing the project, the game itself, said, "Well, we bit off more than we can chew, so unfortunately, we're going to have to fold." Which happens sometimes on Kickstarter, an unfortunate reality of the crowdfunding service. So Yogscast says, well, we don't really have to do anything, but because we're awesome cats, we're going to do something, and you'll get a different game. Hopefully, unless that one falls apart too. But the Yogmeisters are also doing a thing where they promote new games. They're calling it Yog Discovery, where a new up-and-comer or someone can pay them to spotlight their game, but the person who's paying them to spotlight their game doesn't have any editorial input. I suppose if they like it, they'll say so. If they don't like it, they'll say so. So that started a whole conversation of what do we think about YouTubers who accept money from publishers? Do we like that? Do we not like that? Do we not care? Do we feel that damages their credibility? is it okay so long as they're completely transparent about the fact that the publisher bought them the game, or is providing them, or is giving them money, or toilet paper with the publisher's name embroidered on every single sheet? EA should totally do that.
Yes, they should.
Would you not like to wipe your butt with EA-branded toilet paper? Tell me that would not be humiliating. EA, Ubisoft, Activision, oh, it'd be awesome. I should start a Kickstarter.
EA has creative control over the toilet paper itself, though, that might not be fun. Yeah. Because they're going to make it rough, and they're going to charge you extra for the smoothness and comfort you want. And so for 50 cents you'll get the roll, but if you want it quilted and 2-ply, that's going to be another $10 DLC on top of that. So
yeah, it's free to start. you can tear it off the roll, but if you want to wipe, that's going to cost you extra. Okay, we're getting really ridiculous here.
okay.
So the poll this week asks, what do you think about YouTubers who accept money from publishers? And let's take a look at the results here. We had 313 people respond to the poll, and 66% said as long as they disclose that fact, I'm good, I'm cool. 16% said, damn shill, I'm never watching you again! And 18% don't really care.
All right.
So, what do you think, Zachary? Are you bothered by things like that, or is it dependent on transparency? What do you think?
I think it all comes down to transparency. If they're going to get paid for it, yes, they need to disclose that fact, and it's got to be in a way that people aren't going to miss it. And so I guess I kind of fall in line with the FTC's guidelines. If you're going to take money from somebody to do something that promotes that product, you should disclose that fact. And so YouTube channels, put it right at the beginning of the game. It's like, hey, we got a free copy of this game from the developer. We're playing that free copy. Or, hey, the developer paid us $50,000 to promote their game for an entire month before launch. So here's this, as long as they put that in front of every single video that has to do with that game, and I would be happy. I don't think they have to go as far as say, every time they do something with that publisher or that developer, from at that point on they have to disclose anything. But as long as that particular video is the result of a paid endorsement deal of some sort or whatever, they need to disclose that fact, and I'm fine with that. I really don't care, because it's a part of life, I guess. What about you?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me as long as they disclose that fact. I'm fine. I tend to you end up creating a relationship, so to speak, with the personalities and publications that you watch and read, and you get an idea of or at least a perception of whether they're straight shooters or not. So I can see how that would for some people say, oh, you accepted money, well then I can't trust your opinion, because obviously you wouldn't say any, you're saying nice things, you wouldn't say anything negative about, never bite the hand that feeds you and stuff like that. Matthew brings up a good point, which I was going to ask you about anyway. Do you think disclosing such a thing in the video description is enough, or do you think it should be on the video somewhere, either in the credits or the front or written on the bottom?
It needs to be disclosed up front, and it needs to be in the video, particularly with sites like YouTube that allow you to embed the video. The description is not embedded with the video, and so you would need to put that in the video itself, and it can just be just like the flipping anti-piracy messages that show up for 10 seconds or so in front of a movie. Just put it up right there, and if people want to pause and read the full text, they can. Everybody else can just mosey on through. So, but it does need to be in the video. I think it can't just be in the description.
Yeah,
Now,
I would.
on a website for an article, yeah, just put it at the top or bottom. I don't care, but as long as it's a notice there somewhere that hey, it was the result of a paid deal.
Um, I'd be fine with it just kind of, let me see, written across the bottom of the screen towards the front, just down here in little white text. As long as it's readable, it's fine. I don't really need a 10-second splash screen, because I hate that stuff when I try to watch a DVD that I just bought from the store, and I got to sit through a damn FBI warning. It's like, I'm not the person you need to tell this to. I bought the DVD.
That's true. That's
so.
True. But still, it needs to be in the video, and yeah, like it could be just a rolling thing across the bottom as the video starts. I think that's okay.
Yeah. If anyone's wondering, I do YouTube videos, but no publisher has ever given me money to talk about their games. But I would totally sell out. Publishers, if you want to give me money to do stuff, I am your shill. I will shill from the mountain tops, and I will buy a fan for this room because it is bloody hot. So thank you for everyone who participated in this week's poll. We'll have another one sometime in the week. And let's see, moving on. Where is my notes? Oh, I love this show. So apparently there's a show called Morning Joe. And this is on MSNBC. And we had two hosts.
That should give you pause right there.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. But why does she have to have such a hard to pronounce name? Mika Brzezinski. Ma'am, I'm very sorry I can't pronounce your name. But and I'm about to make fun of you. So she's talking about the Black Ops 2, which had a character in it who is based on a former Panama dictator, Manuel Noriega. I've never played the game, even though it actually did come out for the Wii U. I haven't played it. I don't know if that's true. Do you? I haven't seen any article actually. Yeah, so I'm not sure if this guy is. I don't know if it's like that. Was it Lindsay Lohan complaining that a character that was obviously a satire of her in Grand Theft Auto 5 was her, and she's suing for them using her likeness and voice and life or something. I'm like, really? Do you go around banging people on public park benches or whatever happened in that episode? Okay, not gonna judge. But yeah, I don't know if this guy is actually in the game, but let's pretend he is, that you actually do go after Manuel Noriega, who, from what I've read, Wikipedia tells me he's not a nice gentleman, and is responsible for the deaths of, lots of people, and laundering drug money, and, murder, drugs, all that kind of really nasty stuff. But but Mika, the one of the hosts on the Morning Joe, said, and I quote, "I honestly don't know who's more reprehensible, the people who would make a game like Call of Duty or Manuel Noriega." And she's not being sarcastic. If you watch the clip, which is on GamePolitics, and if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll link to it in the video description. If you watch the clip, I am hard-pressed to think of anyone who has ever facially demonstrated more palpable disgust at something than she managed in that minute. Have you watched the clip?
Yeah, I watched the clip.
Oh, man, she is just... she's like, I feel filthy talking about it. I'm like, wow. Just wow. Man, I have not seen. I almost want to start a new. I did a video a year or two ago. 20 of the dumbest things ever said about video games. If I ever do another list, that's going on it, 'cause that's
That's
just dumb. And she goes on to talk about how video games are damaging to the brain, especially young people, even though there's no evidence to point to that, and it's been disproven over and over the years. But oh man.
I'm surprised that in the clip, Joe Scarborough,
Mhm.
the co-host there,
Yep.
he actually had a fairly level head about this whole thing.
He took it as a joke, yeah.
He took it as a joke, but I'm surprised he didn't like reach out and smack her. It's like,
Well, man.
yeah, it's insane. It's like, really, is it really that hard of a thought to say, okay, who's worse, somebody who made fictional entertainment, or somebody who was a dictator and killed tens of thousands of people over the course of his dictatorship? I wonder. This is tough, who's worse, Hitler or Nintendo? I can't decide. It doesn't make any sense. This woman, how is she even alive if she's that stupid?
Maybe she did not have her Wheaties that morning, and just couldn't focus. I almost want to mail her and go, really? I mean, seriously, really? I mean, you see, I wonder. It's like, do you have no experience with video games? Do you not have children or nieces or nephews or really younger siblings who play video games? I mean, she looks like a fairly young person to me. So I mean, if she looked like she were in her like 60s or 70s, I wouldn't have been as surprised. But she looks like she's in her 30s.
She's old enough to be a mom.
I'm thinking
she's young enough that she's probably not a grandma yet.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're really that out of touch with video games that they're that scary to you in 2014? Wow, that's just weird to me. So yeah.
What Wikipedia says her age is, but yeah, it's just 67. She's 47 years old.
47?
Yeah, that's what Wikipedia says. So
wow. Looking good, Mika.
She has 2 children.
Damn.
I don't know how old they are. That just lists 2 children there. But yeah, that's old enough to that she should be clued in. Unless she completely blocked video games from her kids, she should at least know what video games are.
Or at least, I'm sure she knows who Manuel Noriega is, and doesn't think he's just some clueless Hollywood celebrity who's complaining about his appearance in a video game. I'm sure she knows that he's a former Panama dictator who's responsible for the deaths of lots of people and lots of bad drug things. It just amazes me that any person, even as old as 47, but anybody who's been paying attention to the news, and I'm sure she has because she's on it, for the past several years, could make a statement like, I don't know who's more reprehensible, a person who kills lots of people or people who make video games. It's like, huh. And again, I encourage you all to go watch the video, because the abject disgust on her face as she's talking about Call of Duty is really quite the sight to behold. I was really surprised by that. Hopefully hopefully she learns that video games are not spooky, scary things that eat children's toes. So moving on. Apple. Let me see. Where did I put that one? Okay, so Apple has been called sexist. Apparently, they have some type of service where they will engrave a phrase of your choice on your Apple products, like iPads and stuff. So, Justin, another name I can't pronounce, Hincy, she wanted to. Let me see. Apparently, these are lyrics, not an original quote from her. But she wanted.
Olsen lyrics.
Who I don't know who that is, but anyway, she wanted to engrave on her iPad the following: "I'll give myself a lube job, shake my broomstick till my clit throbs." I don't even know what that means, but it sounds mildly dirty. Anyway, Apple said no, and cited inappropriate language as the reason it would not engrave that phrase on the back of the iPad. Now that would be where the story would end, and people would say, okay, that's silly, whatever. But she substituted the word clit with penis and resubmitted it, and it went through fine. Then she replaced penis with dick, and that went through. And then she said, and she replaced dick with vagina, and it came back as inappropriate language. So Apple is being called sexist and, frankly, hypocritical. What she says is, "My hypothesis was correct. The reason I cannot use the word clit is because Apple is so entrenched with sexism and misogyny, and frankly, is terrified of women's bodies and women's pleasure." I think that's a little presumptuous, but I do think Apple is being very hypocritical, and their decision is sexist. Because it's very gender-based.
I honestly have no idea why Apple even cares. You know, it's just something they're putting on the back of a single person's iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, somebody in the comments, commented that or said that that Apple has a history of this kind of behavior when it comes to app submissions. Where there not too long ago there was the woman masturbation app or whatever it was. That Apple denied, and so it's like Apple has done stuff like this before, but to me it's like, okay, well, that's a big difference between an app which is going to go into the Apple App Store and is going to be available to all Apple iPhone customers. There's a big difference between that and somebody wanting an engraving on the back of their personal iPhone. And and on top of that, it's not like Justin here couldn't just take that iPhone to some third-party engraver and get whatever she wanted engraved on it. Apple couldn't block that at all.
Certainly.
And so, excuse me. And so I have no idea why Apple even cares. Unless they put every single engraving they put on a website or something. It's like, okay, but yeah, they don't, and it's just, it makes no sense whatsoever to block anything that anybody wants engraved.
Well, I'm fine with Apple having some sort of policy or rules dictating what they will and will not engrave on their products. For example, they probably will not engrave threats. Like if you find this iPod, please kill my husband. No bad words, but inappropriate language. If you're saying we don't engrave bad words on stuff, fine.
Yeah.
But you can't say that vagina is a bad word, but penis is totally fine. That's sexist and stupid. So
and it looks like this was done through their online order form. So it's not like it's not like it was in store or anything. But still, it just doesn't make any sense. So it looks like they're probably got this big old black list of words and says, nope, this word's not allowed, this word's not allowed, and then they run everything through. But still, it's like, why is penis and dick not in the blacklist?
I know. So I do not believe, if Apple actually would come out and say this, I would not believe Apple if they said, we never ran into an instance of someone wanting to put penis on their iPad. I don't believe you. I would say that, for every vagina for every person who wanted to engrave vagina onto their iPad, Boy, that brings up an interesting mental images of, you know, of sentient, animate vaginas just sitting in front of a computer filling out web forms. But for every person who wanted to engrave the word vagina on the back of their Apple products, I would bet 50 people wanted penis on the back of theirs.
Yes, probably. Yeah,
So,
I don't see what. Yeah, it just boggles my mind.
so. Okay, so moving on. Let's see. What do we have next? Ninja Pizza Girl. I forget how I came across this one, but I saw this Kickstarter earlier in the week, and I thought it was really neat. It's called Ninja Pizza Girl, which already sounds awesome because those are three things I like. It looks kind of like a 2D side-scroller version of Mirror's Edge. You essentially play a pizza delivery girl who's like, okay, I've got my pizza. I have to deliver it to my customer in 10 minutes or less, before it gets cold. And instead of taking a car like a normal human being, she's a ninja. So, she hops along rooftops and slides down, phone wires because those are still above ground for some reason, bouncing off awnings and dodging people and tucking and rolling and jumping. So it's kind of like a sideways endless runner, but with the obstacle course elements. And there are, and it's very stylized, and it actually looks pretty fun. And it has a lot of interesting features. First of all, the game is developed by an independent developer who's Disparity, I think, who is a family developer. It's mom, dad, and their daughter, who apparently practices martial arts. So the Ninja Pizza Girl is, based on their daughter, which is kind of neat. It's a family thing. So I thought that was pretty sweet. But as far as the game goes, instead of dying, if you miss a jump, you fall to a lower path that is easier but takes longer. So you don't die and have to quit. The game kind of dynamically adjusts its difficulty. So if you can't stay on the high expert path, you'll fall to a medium path, which is worth less points, and the pizza gets cooler on its way. And I thought that was an interesting way to tackle that. Also, the game tackles subjects such as teen angst and bullying in interesting ways. The enemies in the game are other teenagers who are trying to they work for a rival pizzeria or something like that, and they're just trying to get in your way and trip you up by literally, sticking out their foot and tripping you or chucking apples at you or something like that. And if they can trip you up and get you to fall down, they'll laugh at you, which, especially as a teenager, makes you feel really bad and self-conscious, especially if they, take a photo of you and post it on YouTube, of you trying to make a jump and smacking against a wall, and they're like, ah, ha, ha, you suck, I'm going to put that on YouTube. And so, as that happens, your character kind of gets depressed and the world desaturates. And that can be kind of a game over end state, is where your character just kind of, tucks into a ball and doesn't want to deliver pizzas anymore. And at GamePolitics, we see a lot of the serious games that cover heavy topics like bullying and teen angst and abuse and other things like that. But they're usually really boring. Very well intentioned, often with high production values and well put together, but not actually fun to play. This actually looks like it's communicating some really nice ideas regarding its subject matter, while at the same time looking like it's going to be fun to actually play, and I really admire that, which is why I wrote about it on GamePolitics earlier in the week. So, did you have any thoughts on that, Zachary?
Well, I'm just looking over the Kickstarter. I watched the video, and I think this is as a father myself, I like the idea of involving your kids in the development process. Hell yeah, I forget the guy's name now, but there was this one indie developer and he made a point-and-click adventure game where he let his daughter, like she was like 5 or 6 at the time, he let her do all of the actual art for the game. So she drew pictures of ponycorns with crayon and all the other assets for the game, and he turned them into the graphics for the game and animations and stuff. And so I thought that was really neat. And and then recently.
So ponycorn is a pony with a horn, like a unicorn, just a small horse.
Unicorn is what
okay.
The girl called a ponycorn.
Adorable.
But like I thought that was really neat, and just recently my son saw me messing with a map editor that I was incorporating into my game development work, into my pipeline, and he wanted to design a level, and so he went and he built this little map with Legos, and I helped him turn it into a level with this map editor, and then I turned it into a game. And so I think the idea of getting kids involved in the game is, into the game design and game development process is just a neat idea, and I like seeing projects where that happens. And so, and especially when it's something like this, where it's actually based on experiences from the kids, and so it makes it a little more personal. And beyond that, I'm just looking at this, and the graphics look really great, and really, I there's this one GIF in here, that where Pizza Girl finally gets through, and she delivers the pizza. She hits the button. She's like, "Here's your pizza," and she goes, "Oh crap!" And the guy's this fat guy in his underwear answering the door.
Tighty whities.
It's like, yes, that happens for pizza delivery people.
Yeah, that has to be based on a real story. I'd put money on that. It's like, dude, I delivered this pizza and this guy answered the door in his skivvies. It was so gross. So the Kickstarter still has 24 days to. It's Saturday right now, so Saturday the 19th of July. Kickstarter has 24 days to go. It's seeking $35,000 Australian, and it's currently at just under 18,000. So
so that's like 5,000 American there.
Yeah, probably. So it's it looks pretty likely that it's going to meet its goal. So that's cool. And I got mail. Woot. All right. So good luck, Ninja Pizza Girl. I'll make sure I'm dressed when I answer the door for you. Let's see. What's next? We have okay. So moving off game politics a bit. We wanted to talk a little bit about Marvel. Because Marvel is being fairly awesome with their movies and comic book initiatives, and Comic-Con is coming up, so I expect we'll see even more awesome. And Marvel has been making very obvious efforts for, inclusivity and diversity are really big topics that we in popular culture right now. In all forms of media. Video games, you'll notice Ubisoft has been, under a lot of pressure. It's like, why are there no girls in your games? Nintendo's been under a lot of pressure for not representing the homosexuals in Tomodachi Life. Lots and lots of examples. Movies have been having that problem, although in the last year we've had a lot of really high-grossing female-led films like Gravity, Frozen. There was a film that came out a month ago that was can't remember the name of it. I had no interest in it. I don't know. Had a girl with like braces or something, like a retainer across her face in the Fault of the Stars or some weird thing. I can't remember what it's called. But there have a lot of companies are saying, holy crap on a stick, women and minorities actually do exist. They have money. We should go get some. Yeah, I had heard the rumors myself, but like the Loch Ness monster and Sasquatch, I said I'll believe it when I see it. But so Marvel has made a few announcements this week. Going backwards a little bit, probably the most high profile of Marvel's output would be its films, which all star white guys so far. You've got Iron Man, Tony Stark, white guy. Hulk, Bruce Banner, white guy. Thor, very white
Hulk
guy.
is a green guy.
Well, he turns green, but yeah, Bruce Banner is a white guy. Black Widow, white girl, but doesn't have her own movie. She's been a second stringer. Yeah. You do they introduced the Falcon in the new Captain America movie, who's a black guy, but again supporting character. Sam Wilson, thank you. So Marvel's saying, okay, let's mix this up a bit. They have a new Miss Marvel launched a year ago, almost a year ago. Kamala Khan, who's a where does she hail from?
Muslim.
She's not white. Pakistani,
no,
maybe? Afghani?
Something like that. But yeah, she's Middle Eastern descent. But,
she has darker skin than I do. Which is almost everybody.
And I can't remember exactly where she hails from or where her parents hail from. But she's American. But but yeah, her parents are foreign. At least one of them is, and and that parent or both are from the Middle East.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's the new Ms. Marvel, and because the former Ms. Marvel is now Captain Marvel in continuity wise. So yeah, they shook that up. Let's see. Then Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man,
Miles Morales.
Yeah, Miles Morales. He's
who I'm assuming is Hispanic.
Mexican.
Oh, okay.
He's Hispanic African American mix. So he's got dual nationality there. Yeah, I'll stick with that word. But so yeah, so they had those two moves already, but then they
in the comics,
just this past, at least I don't think they made any other shakeups over the last year between those and this week. But unless you saw something I didn't.
Nothing comes to mind. But so let's look at what's happened. The first one is Thor is now a woman. Now that doesn't mean that Thor, son of Odin, changed into a woman. He's not transgender. He's not didn't have a sex change. He wasn't transformed into a woman. Thor is still there. He's
to be fair, at one point Loki did change Thor into a woman as a prank. So, but this is not one of those.
He has been right. Thor is, for whatever reason, no longer worthy of the hammer Mjolnir. And so he has to set. So he can't be Thor, wielder of Mjolnir, god of thunder anymore. He's just Thor. So there's a new person, a woman who has not been identified on who she is, but a woman is taking up the mantle of wielder of Mjolnir, goddess of thunder. Who we don't know who she is yet, but so Thor is now a woman. So there's now a female god of thunder.
Yeah, and Marvel writer Jason Aaron, I guess he's the one heading this change. He says, this is not She-Thor, this is not Lady Thor, this is not Thorita, this is Thor. This is the Thor of the Marvel universe.
Thorita.
It's unlike any Thor we've ever seen before. So so yeah, they're Marvel has basically made the decision that Thor is not the name of Thor, the guy we know as Thor. Thor is a title of the wielder of Mjolnir.
Kind of like Captain Marvel. It's almost a title.
Yeah.
Because Captain Marvel is Carol Danvers. Captain Marvel is not her name; it's her title. She's Captain Marvel. So Thor's a girl. We've got Captain America has his age has caught up with him because comic books. He was born in the 20s or something like that, and his super serum wore off, and he aged, and now he's 100 years old, so he can't be Captain America. So Sam Wilson, the Falcon, is taking over as Captain America.
And the rumor has it Stephen Colbert is going to take over as the Falcon. So
right. So and also, Marvel says they're doing something interesting with Iron Man, who's the superior Iron Man, and we had a superior Spider-Man who was Dr. Octopus in Dr. Octopus's consciousness in Peter Parker's body, because comic books. So it'll be interesting to.
MODOK has now taken over Tony Stark's body.
That would be cool. I don't know. It'll be interesting, but he's got a new white, almost Apple-esque white and blue. The robot from Wall-E that's not Wall-E, Eve or whatever her name was, looks kind of like that. So Marvel released a lineup of Avengers Now, and at first I thought it was the name of the comic book. I thought this apparently is not the lineup of the new Avengers team. This is just a bunch of.
This is a bunch of characters they're going to be focusing on over the next couple of years. And they'll probably have a lot of them as Avengers members eventually. But
yeah. So we've got Medusa, who's female. We've got Scarlet Witch, female. Iron Man, as far as we know, it's still Tony Stark. We've got Stephen Strange, Ant-Man. Let's see, we've got Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier, thank you. Angela from Spawn, because Marvel just got the rights to her. A lot of people are thinking that Angela would be the new Thor, because she's kind of Viking-like.
I believe Angela is supposedly the long-lost sister of Thor.
Isn't it like the half-sister or something like that?
Yeah, like a half-sister or
something.
So
but in the art, she's standing next to Thor, so apparently, unless Marvel's pulling a fast one. Unworthy Thor is not anywhere in here. So we've got Angela, Thor.
Picture where it shows unworthy Thor.
New Thor, new Captain America, some guy on fire. I don't know who that is.
His name's Inferno, and he's an Inhuman.
Is that Inhumans?
Like Medusa is. So.
Oh, okay. And Deathlock, who's looking very similar to the Deathlock from the Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. television show. I can't remember the character's name on that show, but we've got
Peterson.
Mike Peterson, that's right. So I don't know the ethnicity of Inferno, but as far as I can tell, we've got 4 women and at least 2 black guys. So Marvel is actually making attempts to. A lot of people say, "Oh, Marvel's progressive." No, this is not progressive. This is bringing yourself up to modern times. This is like welcome to last century kind of representations of diversity. So it's not progressive. It's good, but let's not fool ourselves. This isn't being progressive. This is, dragging your ass kicking and screaming into the last century, and we're in the 21st now. So,
But this is it's a really, really much needed shakeup, and if this affects the cinematic universe, that'd be really cool. Because one of the things people have been talking about is like Chris Evans, the actor who plays Captain America. He only has like 2 movies left in his contract, and he's not planning on renewing that contract.
He's got
the next Avengers, and then maybe
2 past Age of Ultron. So he should be good for Avengers 3 and Captain America 3.
And Captain America 3. But the question is, if that contract goes up and he doesn't renew, which he's not likely to do, who's going to take up the mantle? Sebastian Stan, the actor who plays Bucky Barnes in Winter Soldier, he has like a 9-movie deal right now.
Yeah.
And so the thought is that, he's probably going to take up the Captain America mantle in the cinematic universe. But with this change where Sam Wilson is now the new Captain America, the question is, everybody's like, wait a minute. I thought Bucky Barnes was going to be the new Captain America. What if they get I forget the actor who plays Falcon in Winter Soldier, but what happen? What if they get him to be the new Captain America?
Anthony
So
Mackie?
yeah, Anthony Mackie. Yeah, that's right. So what happens? Will they get him in? And then there's also the question. Robert Downey Jr. is his contract going to be up, and he's not likely to play Iron Man after a couple more movies. So the question is like, okay, are they going to get? Golly, I'm really bad with actors' names today. But James Rhodes,
Don Cheadle.
to take up the mantle. Don Cheadle, take up the mantle of Iron Man in the after Robert Downey Jr. leaves. So there's that question, and then there's the other camps where people are just gonna say, they're just gonna recast. Tony Stark and Captain America and all them. They're just gonna recast them, and they're gonna be Iron Man and Captain America, even though they have new faces. But it's definitely interesting to see what happens in the future if any of these comic book changes affect the movie universe.
Yeah, I still think Bucky Barnes will take over Captain America, and maybe they'll try and do Falcon, spin off Falcon into his own movie, maybe. I don't know, Falcon and Black Widow. Got Beast Wars on the brain. Sorry. I guess you can make a good movie out of anything, but I don't think it's the matter of Falcon being black or Black Widow being a woman that makes their solo movies not as immediately appealing. I think it's the fact that it's Falcon and Black Widow just aren't front runners. Black Panther, on the other hand, is Black Panther. Do I have the right name?
Yeah, Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther. Who I would expect to see sometime along here, because Black Panther is, if you don't know who he is, he's like Marvel's Batman. He's a rich guy who has a lot of vibranium gadgets. So
he's not really a rich guy. He's the king of a African empire. Is basically what it is. So
which sits on the entire store of
But they own all the vibranium in the world, or at least the vast majority of it. There's little bits of it, dotted about the rest of the earth. That's how Captain America.
Which is what Captain America's shield's made out of, if you don't know.
But yeah, the vast majority of vibranium is in Wakanda. So but they definitely need to get on the ball with a Black Panther movie. And then they've got Luke Cage and Jessica Jones coming to the television universe with their Netflix deal. And I forget, is Iron Fist white or is he Asian? I can never remember. I think he's a white guy. Yeah, he's the son of a rich guy in America who sent him off to some Tibet style place to study or something like that. So yeah, he's white now that I think about it. So, but they definitely have two more non-white, and one more non-male character.
Miss Marvel.
The screen. So.
Well, we're also probably everyone thinks we're going to get a Captain or Miss Marvel movie. They'll probably call it Miss. Marvel. Yeah, so we'll have a female-led movie, which would be awesome. It'd be interesting to see if they do Carol Danvers or Kamala Khan. A lot of people are arguing whether they'll call it Captain Marvel or they'll call it Miss Marvel.
Well, if they do Carol Danvers, it's going to be Captain Marvel, because that's her comic name, and they would want that to carry over. As far as I know. And then Ms. Marvel, if they do Kamala Khan, then it's going to be Ms. Marvel, because they don't want people to confuse those, I don't think. But then again, having two captains in the movie universe might be might be confusing to people.
Right, right. Yeah, Marvel probably doesn't want two, a Captain America and a Captain Marvel, so they'd go with Miss Marvel. But if they go with the title Miss Marvel, are they using Carol Danvers or are they using Kamala Khan?
Yeah. I don't know.
Uh,
I think a
Jet.
Kamala Khan movie might be good because
That yeah, it could be really
with the
good.
success of
The book.
of teen movies like young adult movies like the Hunger Games, they could do a teen targeted movie with Ms. Marvel and I get they can't do Ultimate Spider-Man, of course, but they could definitely do Ms. Marvel with Kamala Khan as a young adult movie
Yeah.
and do it that way, and I think that would be a very very good idea.
Yeah.
So,
There's also Jesse Hart in the chat says, "How about Howard the Duck?" And Howard the Duck already had a movie.
yeah,
So
and he also apparently he has a cameo in the
Guardians of the
Galaxy.
Galaxy, yeah.
They a credits list was leaked, and if this is true, you'll have Cosmo the Russian space dog, um, and and Howard the Duck will show up as cameos at least in the movie. So that will be interesting.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? I had something else. I don't remember. So, we're talking in the chat box about the cartoon, and we all seem to be in agreement that Earth's Mightiest Heroes is awesome, and Avengers Assemble is less than awesome.
Yes, and just one of my many complaints with that Avengers Assemble is that Black Widow does not show up nearly enough. She's been in like 2 episodes, and she wasn't even in the very last episode. I don't think.
Oh,
I can't remember.
shame.
It maybe she was. I don't know, but yeah, she just doesn't show up enough, and they definitely need some diversity in there. Aside from Sam Wilson, the Falcon in the cast.
Yeah. So here's the biggest problem I see with the Marvel shakeups, and that is, I am afraid. Well, I'm not really afraid. I would put money on the fact that both Thor and Captain America, after a year or two, return to the status quo. I would.
Probably.
I'm guessing that these changes are temporary. Superman does not stay dead. The Superior Spider-Man is back to Peter Parker. Unworthy Thor will be Thor again, and Captain America will get his super serum-y goodness back and will retake over the Captain America mantle.
That's definitely in the realm of possibility because IO9 had, after both of those announcements, posted articles where they went through everybody that wielded the hammer and everybody that took on the mantle of Captain America, and basically it's happened dozens of times for both of them, and every time Thor gets his hammer back and Captain America gets his shield back, and so it'll likely happen again, and these guys, the new Thor, the lady Thor, she'll probably get her own version of Mjolnir, just like Beta Ray Bill did, and and Sam Wilson will go back to being the Falcon, but with now a cooler mindset, in the in the eyes of the public.
Mm-hmm.
So,
looking at the Marvel Avengers Now art, I also noticed that the costuming is getting a bit better, especially with Scarlet Witch. She's not wearing lingerie anymore. She's still cleavage-tastic, but she's at least wearing a dress, which is
and
nice.
That's something that, with all of her different incarnations, she still has that funky head piece.
I like that funky headpiece.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
It's like Gambit's funky headpiece. I don't even know what it is, but I like it.
Yeah. So she still looks like
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch, but yeah, the costumes of go through shakeups like that, and
Mm-hmm.
and the new movie, the Avengers: Age of Ultron, Scarlet Witch, she looks a lot more like the Scarlet Witch from the cartoon series. Which one was that one? I'm trying to remember the X-Men series. The one where they were in high school.
Evolution?
So yeah, Evolution. Yeah, she dresses a lot more like that, but less goth because she was very goth in the cartoon. But the costume looks a little more like that, and to be honest, it looks more practical and realistic when put on the screen.
Yeah. Well, some costumes just aren't going to translate. Um, just a thought. Is Uncle Ben the only Marvel character, heck, maybe Marvel and DC character, who's actually stayed dead? Has he ever come back to life? I don't recall Uncle Ben ever coming back. He may, other than reboots and retelling the story. I think Uncle Ben may be the only one who stayed dead.
Alternate universes. I think he's stayed dead pretty much consistently. I don't think there's ever been a time where he's come back to life, because I know Aunt May has died and come back to life multiple times, but yeah, Ben has stayed dead as far as I know.
Jesse, who is on the other side of the ocean, is asking about a Captain Britain movie. Hey, get some, Black Panthers, Wakanda, that's other side of the world somewhere. But yeah, get some superheroes from the other side of the world. Is Union Jack Marvel? I can't remember if he's Marvel or DC. I think he's Marvel.
Well, I think he's Marvel because there's a whole Great Britain version of the Avengers.
Yeah, there's an Avengers Europe, and I forget, it's not called Avengers Europe, but
yeah, and there's a Canadian X-Men team, and all kinds of teams from across the world, and they definitely need to branch out of America, I think. But they might be afraid because America's like the pin that holds the movie business in place, even though every single movie that makes money makes more money outside the U.S. than they do in. So.
Yep. So before we close the show, let's move it back to video games a little bit. I just wanted to talk about Nintendo, as you may have guessed. Nintendo, after receiving a slap on the wrist over Tomodachi Life, seems to be going hog wild with diversity, especially female representation. If you look at the roster for Super Smash Brothers, it's got a fairly healthy representation of females in it. Palutena from Kid Icarus was announced a while back. You have the Mii characters, which can be any gender or any color, which is nice. They just announced Lucina from Fire Emblem, and Robin, who is the default name of the character you play in Fire Emblem Awakening, which you can also choose to play a male or female version. So in the game you can play a male or female version, which is cool. So in addition to that, of course you have Zelda and Sheik, Zero Suit Samus and Samus, Rosalina, Peach. Who else do we have? The female version of the Villager. Let's see. The female version of Wii Fit Trainer.
Yeah.
So, lot of good stuff. So, also, if you look at the playable cast of Hyrule Warriors, the Dynasty Warriors / Legend of Zelda game that comes out in a few months, all of the player characters so far are female except Link. You've got Impa, Zelda, Midna, annoying girl with a book. She's new for the game. I don't know what her name is, but she's a spellcaster with blue hair. Agatha, the bug girl from Twilight Princess, and Fi, the Navi type character from Skyward Sword. And on the Japanese site for the game, there's a coming soon for another player character, so we'll see if it's yet another female. There are other females. There's there's Saria from Ocarina of Time. There's the Zora Princess in Ocarina of Time. Yeah, so there are plenty
Yeah,
more.
there's lots of characters there.
And I would be
I'm
surprised
still
if there
waiting for
were.
the old man in the cave to come out.
It's dangerous to go alone.
Hmm.
I told you it was dangerous to go alone, so I'm here to help. That would be awesome. Um,
Yep.
I would be surprised if there were only 8 player characters in
I
Hyrule
think
Warriors.
they should get Link's uncle or whoever that was from Link to the Past, where it opens up where Link's uncle or whoever he is, he lives with, goes off with the sword and shield to
Oh,
attack
right.
Hyrule Castle,
Doesn't
and
go well.
and then the adventure starts with you chasing him down and taking the sword and shield when he dies. I think bring him on as a main character, as a playable character. I think that would be cool. Let's see who else. The lady from Link's Awakening from the the Game Boy game.
Mhm.
The girl that you rescue. I forget her name, but she would make a pretty good playable character.
I'm still holding out hope for Tingle, which
Yeah, Tingle needs to be in
Jesse
there.
just mentioned. That was one of my 10 crazy predictions before E3. Tingle would be in Hyrule Warriors. Still holding out hope.
Yeah.
So Matthew points out that the costume designs for the characters can be a little fan servicey. Eh, a little. Not
For Smash Brothers.
no for Hyrule Warriors. Well,
Oh,
Zero Suit
Hyrule Warriors.
Samus in Smash Brothers is pretty obnoxious, but the Hyrule Warriors
Yeah.
character costumes are they're fine. Zelda's she's showing some cleavage, but it's not obnoxious. The only one who's really obnoxious is one of the female enemy characters, because she's just spilling out all over the place. She has to be have some major double-sided tape going on, either that or she's not moving anywhere. Uh, but Fee is still her normal thing. Midna's naked, but then again, she's a little gremlin monster, so I guess that doesn't matter. This little blue-haired girl with the spell book is wearing has a bare midriff and a skirt, but she has that really annoying stereotypical anime, bubbly, bouncy, that kind of a thing going on that makes me want to punch her in the face. her character preview came on.
Unfortunately, isn't being developed by Nintendo themselves.
No, it's
They
Team
farmed
Ninja.
this one out. Yeah. So yeah. And it's Team Ninja. You say so. That's not unheard of for Team Ninja.
But
I'm sure they're not allowed to go as far as Team Ninjas want to go, but
yeah, but they do seem to be displaying an incredible amount of restraint for Team Ninja. I'll give them that.
yes.
So, and Jesse, I think fan service is normal for video games and anime. Yeah, it is. Fan service being usually defined as girls in skimpy outfits appealing to the male gaze. Yeah, it is normal, and there's nothing wrong with it. It only becomes problematic when it's not appropriate for that particular show. There are a lot of anime shows that you watch, and the camera will zoom up someone's skirt, and you're like, "What? That's dramatically it just pulls you right out of pulls you right out of the show. That doesn't even work."
Yeah.
And she's 11 years old. Stop that. I mean, really. Um, so and it's the same thing with diversity and representation. There's nothing wrong with a white male lead in a movie. There really isn't. It's not in and of itself problematic. Where it becomes a problem is when it's the only damn thing there. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Fan service isn't a problem. It's when it's in every damn show, and it takes over the show. One to make a point. One of my, I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but a show I look on fondly is called Agent Ica, which is wall-to-wall fan service. I mean, this anime is fascinating. It's laudable. You could do a PhD on examining the show. It's fascinating how many unique camera angles they can come up with to look up a woman's skirt in this OVA. Uh, it's but it's self-aware. That's what that show is about. It's how many creative ways can we figure out to look up a woman's skirt, and they managed to pull off unique camera angles for like a 6 or 7 episode OVA. It's really impressive, and it's actually funny, and it works for that show. But if every show is Agent Ika, then it just gets boring. So that's the thing about representation, diversity, fan service is you can't always have gritty white guy in your movies or video games because it's just boring. It's like let's see something else. It's like if everything was a comedy. It's like, well, occasionally I want to watch a horror movie or a drama. So anyway,
And I just learned that your own yawn is contagious to yourself.
oh, you watched yourself yawn on the delay and then yawned again?
I watched myself yawn here, and it made me yawn again. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, everyone yawn. Everyone with me now. Okay, so it's been a good show. We're going to sign off now. So let's plug our stuff and get out of here. My name's Andrew Eisen. Eisen is the last name. You can follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen. Type it into YouTube. You can find my videos there. You may actually be watching this on YouTube. If that's the case, hit subscribe. Woot! I also have a Facebook fan page. Go to Facebook, type Andrew Eisen YouTube, and you'll find it. And that's about it for me. Oh, I'm also starting trying a new thing on YouTube, Q and Andrew, where I answer questions that you ask. I just posted my first episode the other day, which is about my favorite video game of all time. And I thought they would all be questions like, what's your shoe size? How many black shirts do you own? Real simple, I can just answer like that. But no, people are asking me questions that I actually have to put thought into, which was not the point. I was supposed to just answer some questions. Yeah, I know. It's like, oh man, I have to actually think about this. So, but some really great questions. So you can ask me stuff on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube comment section, wherever you like. It's all good. So, Zachary, plug away.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at EZKnight, and you can also follow DK_gaming. That's my game development stuff for Divine Knight Gaming, and we're currently running a Kickstarter. It's Demon's Hex, and we're really hoping to get this out there. So check that out, look it up. You can also find OK Game Devs on Twitter and okgamedev.com. This is all the news and exciting stuff happening in the world of video game development here in Oklahoma. So check out all those places, support my Kickstarter, support the Kickstarters of other awesome creators in Oklahoma, and so check out all that.
All right. You've been listening to episode 106 of Super Podcast Action Committee. You can send us email at superpackpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at superpackpodcast. Subscribe and like us subscribe and rate us on iTunes, and like us on Facebook. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a like button somewhere over there. You can click that. Leave comments. Let us know what you like. Boy, I hope we have the technical issues ironed out next week.
Hopefully.
So, yeah, we're aiming for every Saturday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so we hope you can join us live and chat with us while we record the show. Yeah. We'll see you next week.
2 o'clock, Jesse Hurt time.
And Jesse, that's 2 a.m. for you, so make sure you set the alarm. All right, take care, all.